What's up, everyone? How's it going? Welcome to this installment of Mice Vehicle Vlogs, and I want to thank you for joining me today. So this is the end of the year vlog. Usually I like to recap, what happened this year, maybe what's coming up for the following year in the vlog series and whatnot. So this vlog really doesn't have a whole lot of action in it. This vlog is going to be uploaded and airing on, obviously, YouTube on the very last weekend of December, the last week of December. So it's going to be right after Christmas. So I'm really hoping that everybody has had a safe, wonderful holiday, I'm hoping everybody will go into the new year with hopefully some smiles on their faces. Because the first thing I want to point out was, this whole year, 2020, I think it's been an awful year for everybody, myself included. This whole year really, the whole thing with the COVID pandemic and whatnot, a lot of people got sick. A lot of people are dying still as this is being filmed. I mean, people are still getting sick. People are still dying. It's a tragic chain of events that have taken place this entire year. So I really hope that everybody who has been watching these videos over the last few months or whatnot, I hope you guys have not been, affected with, the COVID one way or another. I know here at home, my wife and I, we are both still in good health as this is being filmed. Neither one of us have had it. My family, my mom's boyfriend did have it. He is actually still recovering. This was toward the end of October that he had actually tested positive for it and started showing symptoms. But he is doing better. He's still on the road to recovery. My wife has had a few friends who've had it, and they're bouncing back, luckily. So I haven't really known anybody who has been who has had to be admitted into the hospital and whatnot. So I really hope that everybody that I know and everybody doesn't get the virus that bad. I don't want them to have it at all, but to be in the hospital on a ventilator and whatnot, I wouldn't wish that on anybody. So I think that was the big thing this year was COVID. And like I said, I hope everybody who's watching this, I hope you guys are safe, healthy, and just playing it safe out there. Stay clean, wear the mask. I know everybody's tired of the masks, but I don't get into that stuff. I don't normally talk about social issues on this channel because my goal for this channel is to kind of get you guys away from reality for a few minutes or whatnot, to give you guys a break, essentially. I think everybody who makes videos for YouTube or Instagram or TikTok or whatever, they want to kind of break you out of that for just a little bit, and something to make you laugh or something to keep you focused on something for a short time. We all need a break, that's just how it is. We all need a break from this kind of stuff, and the only reason why I'm mentioning it is because it really is a big thing that has hit everybody in one way or another this entire year. So I just hope everybody's wearing a mask, washing their hands, staying 6 feet apart, whatever they're telling you to do in your community or whatnot. Just stay healthy and stay safe. That's pretty much what I'm getting at. And hopefully 2021, we will be going into a year where this will all start to go away. That's all that we can hope and pray for. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Just stay healthy, stay safe. Now, as far as what's going on personally, this whole year for me has been crazy in a few different ways. More so because this entire year I have been in school still. In fact, as this is being recorded, I have about 2 months left of automotive school, and then I will be graduating, as long as everything with the whole COVID thing doesn't shut the school back down like we did in early spring. We were shut down for a while, had to resort to online classes for a while with what we can do online. And then once we got back into the school, we focused a lot on hands-on before starting the next quarter of courses and whatnot. So as of right now, everything's still caught up, and I will be out of school in February, the end of February. Like I said, everything's still on track for that. Another thing that took place over the course of this year is I actually started a new job in February, actually, of this past February. I started a new job, and there was just a whole lot of adjusting for me to get used to this year. And I'm not one who accepts change too easily. It usually takes me a long time to adapt to change. So, this whole year between going to work and school and my hours of work have obviously changed with the job position, and I'm basically, I've been working part-time basically this entire year. So financially, everything's been kind of tight this whole year, and I'm just really excited to be finishing school and just go back to more of the routine I'm used to, which is like one full-time job. And got a lot of stuff to get caught up on around here, and hopefully, once I'm actually in the field as a technician, I'm sure I'm not going to be jumping into a flat rate position right away, but hopefully, at least staying hourly for a while, and that'll help get things caught up on, and get more experience and stuff before I'm offered any kind of flat rate position. So I know when you're in the automotive field, it can be kind of a sketchy career field, obviously, because it being flat rate, you can maybe pull in 80 hours worth of worth of jobs, I should say, 80 hours worth of jobs, or you can bring about 20 hours worth. I mean, who knows? It depends on what's out there and what needs done and whatnot. So it's going to be that'll be a weird adjustment to get used to too, but I'm not expecting to go into that anytime soon. But I am excited to go full-time. I will be back to full-time at this Ford dealership that I now work at in the shop, and I'm just looking forward to it. That way, at least for me anyway, things will start to feel a little more normal, than they did before I started school and the new job in general. So now, as far as what we have done this past year in 2020, as far as on the channel, I know the big thing that a lot of you guys may have seen, and maybe you guys didn't know, but I'm sure if you're watching this, you guys know, we ended up selling the 2001 Pontiac Aztek GT. I absolutely loved my Aztek. I really do regret selling it to an extent. I can't really say I really regret it. I mean, I do regret it, but there were reasons to get rid of it. The big reason I wanted to get rid of it was I was actually trying to help somebody out who needed a vehicle immediately, just for a few months. They needed something before they can afford to get a vehicle that's going to be more dependable and something for them to have in the long run. That was basically my main reason for getting rid of it. I also did want to maybe buy another project or something else to start working on, which turned out to be the 03 Grand Am GT. And as far as that particular Aztek, the condition of it was just, the underside was starting to rot out pretty good, even though it wasn't affecting any of the important parts, like any suspension, places where suspension has to bolt onto the body or whatnot, those were still good, but our rocker moldings were gone pretty much. I was worried about the radiator support. It did start coming down a little bit before we sold it, but there was still support there for the radiator, but you could tell one side was starting to kind of dip. So I knew eventually that was going to give out, and we invested almost $3,400 in that entire car from purchase to me selling it. It still needed things here and there, and I was really just thinking the overall condition of it with how it's going to be. I mean, it was probably only going to be on the road for a few more years, if that. and I really didn't want to just keep throwing money into it if it was just going to end up in the junkyard or, you know, going to scrap or whatnot, you know. Even though I really did love that car, and it was, in my opinion, it was my perfect ideal Aztek. I basically built that to the way that I've always kind of envisioned having one as a kid when they first came out. I mean, that was basically my reasons for selling it. But I will say that as of, you know, the last couple of, you know, weeks or whatnot, and I was, you know, actually going back through some vlogs and whatnot, looking at what we've done to the car and whatnot, I do miss it. I miss a lot of things about that, just like I did with the very first Aztek that I had. You know, once I got rid of it, it was almost like there was a void here in my heart, and there still is. You know, so that being said, you know, I know one day I'm going to buy another one. I will tell you that right now. I will have a third Aztek, and I cannot guarantee when it is going to be here with us. It is out there somewhere. It is just not here yet. But no, I really do miss it, and I have to have another one. And when I go to buy the next one, I'm hoping I can find one that's not going to be needing as much work. I'm kind of going back to my original plan, before I bought the one that I did have. You know, I would like to find one that's already in driving condition, doesn't need all the work, preferably one that's not as rusty or rotten on the underside and in the door wells and whatnot. You know, so that way, you know, as long as the body is in good shape, you know, I can manage to keep it for a long time. You know, mechanically, you know, I'll keep changing parts out on it if I have to, but as long as the body and the structure of the you know, this Aztek or whatnot is in good shape, then it, you know, it really is something that I want to be able to keep forever. I miss driving it. I miss the way that it drives and how comfortable the ride is. The versatility. I mean, honestly, once I got rid of it, I really do miss having something to carry things in that are of, you know, obviously certain sizes. Can't really do much with a Fusion, a Fiesta, and a Grand Am. So, yes, there will be another Aztek on this channel, and hopefully really not one that needs as much work as the other one did. I'm not going to, like I said, promise you guys when it's going to be here, when I'm going to get it. Financially, there's still a lot of things that have to be done, and what I would like to do too is get, you know, more stuff added on to the back of the house and the driveway and whatnot. What I'd like to do is, if I'm getting another Aztek, I really don't want to have to sacrifice the Grand Am. Obviously, the Fiesta and the Fusion are not going anywhere, so we're not getting rid of them. But, you know, right now I have enough room for 3 cars, and that's pretty much it. Moving cars around, you know, is easier with 3 cars than it would be with 4. So what I'd like to do is actually add on almost like a second driveway in the backyard, where the cars can kind of park sideways behind the house. And I'd like to be able to get like, you know, and maybe room for at least 2 more cars, the Grand Am and the future Aztek. Maybe even room for like a patio set or something. But, you know, that was something that I wanted to do. I also want to have a, you know, a 2-car garage added. The pad's already there for the garage. You guys have seen that. When we bought the house almost 6 years ago, there was a garage there. It was a 1-car garage though. Even though the pad once housed a 2-car garage, it had a 1-car garage when we bought the house. But it was falling apart, and the bank wasn't going to loan us the money for the house if the garage was still there. So the previous owners of this house had to have it torn down, and then that way we were able to secure the loan and buy the house. But basically, all that stuff is there. The pad's there. Everything is good. That's like the most expensive part, from what I've heard, is actually getting the groundwork and the foundation and the pad and stuff down. All I need is the actual structure. So hopefully, probably not next year, but eventually, once I'm in making more money and whatnot, and you know, everything else is getting caught up on and whatnot, I would like to be able to add the garage, add on to the driveway, maybe even add on to the back of the house, like an extra den or something, you know. So that's basically the plans for the future, and once I get enough room for a 4th car, then I'll work on actually getting the third Aztec. But there will be another Aztec. I'm not even going to tell you guys when I'm getting it. I mean, one day you'll just see a video that's going to be uploaded and it's going to be like, surprise, Aztec's here. Because I can't guarantee when it's coming. But I'm going to have another one. I'm going to have another one in my life, and hopefully it'll be one that I can hold on to for a long time. Same goes for the Grand Am. Hoping that I'll be able to keep our Grand Am for a while. At this point in time, we've had the Grand Am for, what, about 7 months? I think almost 7 months, maybe 6 months, about half a year, I'll say. We've driven it about 2,000 miles total, I think, at this point in time. And so far everything else is still good with it. So there's still a lot of stuff that I do want to do with it. There's still a lot of little things like door lock actuators, a power window switch has to be replaced. We got to figure out why one of the speakers aren't working. Control arm job, you know. There's a lot of stuff that I do have to do to that Grand Am, and you will see videos on that stuff in the next year, you know, this upcoming year. So the Grand Am is going to be here to stay at this time, hopefully for a while, because I love that car. The more I drive it, the more I do love it, and I can't wait to get more of it sorted out for you guys to see. And yeah, so it's not going anywhere, which is why when the next Aztec comes, I really don't want to sacrifice getting rid of that. It's been a really good car so far for what I've had to pay and put into it. This past year, we had to make our first out-of-pocket repair on the Fiesta, and that was the blend door actuator, which this will technically be the third one that that car has had. They seem to be a very common issue over time, and I don't know why. It's just they're plastic pieces on the inside, and somehow things get stripped, and eventually your door is going to click or it's not going to move at all. So we did have to do that. Other than a little bit of other routine maintenance, we did put brakes on it. Got rid of the original brakes that lasted about 41,000 miles, I think is what it was. So we got rid of those, got some new brakes on there. And we did get 2 front tires, which obviously wasn't documented because I had to do that at work. So 2 front tires, and we're planning on getting the other 2 hopefully before winter really strikes. And that's pretty much it that we did for the Fiesta this year. But we did have our very first out-of-pocket repair in almost the 4 years that we've had it. Wow, next month it'll be 4 years, so there'll be a 4th year review of ownership on that coming up next month sometime. And other than that, it's been a good car, so stay tuned for that. And the Fusion, haven't done anything with the Fusion. It's still been good. I've put almost, well, let me think. We put about a total of 26,000 miles on it already in the last 2.5 years that I've had it. A lot of that's coming from my commute to and from school. So the mileage really went up this past year because of school. It makes me sad because, you know, I really wanted to keep the mileage low on that car, but if, you know, obviously the schooling's gonna pay off, it was well worth the drives to and from and whatnot. So other than that, it does need tires, and I don't know, I might try to squeeze out one more winter because I can't even guarantee that I'll have the money for new tires for that car until maybe spring. So we'll see. If I can't drive that, obviously my Grand Am has some newer tires that you just saw, and it handles pretty decently in the snow. It's not the greatest. It does have traction and anti-lock, and they do work, but yeah, worst case scenario, you know, the Fusion could sit for most of the winter, and on the worst of days I could just drive the Grand Am. So that's really it. You know, this was again one of those vlogs, end of the year, just me standing around talking to you guys, just letting you guys know where everything stands, what to look forward to next year, and that's pretty much it. So I mean, I guess the big thing a lot of you guys may have been excited for is me saying that I'm gonna get another Aztec at some point in the future. I really wish it'd be sooner than later, but when I go to find one, I'm gonna make sure I find one that is going to be well worth investing and keeping for the long run. But that's it. So again, I hope everybody had a wonderful holiday, and hope you guys have a great and safe new year. I look forward to seeing you guys. So if you guys enjoyed this and the rest of the vlogs throughout this year, give this video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. Check out teespring.com/stores/Mike's Vehicle Spotlight for all of your MVS and vlog merchandise. that's all that I've got. So I will see you guys next time. I want to thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you guys in 2021. Take care.